Shocking news from Hollywood this weekend. Actor Paul Walker, who began acting as a child, then starring in the Fast and Furious films, dying in a car crash.
Paul Walker, man, it's my brother.
Yeah, we lost my brother Pablo while we were filming Seven.
Reason why we all were devastated about Paul Walker is because he's the nicest dude on human feet.
He was a big kid. I just thought he was the coolest guy in the world and had nothing to do with the movies. Nothing. Paul lived a very private life and he kept the family very protected. He didn't idolize all these people and go, I want to be a big movie star one day.
Paul was always an actor who had one foot in and one foot out. He would just disappear.
Whenever he wasn't working, he would be off somewhere on a boat or hiding under a tree or doing whatever he was doing.
I'm Paul Walker, and we're here on the big island of Hawaii.
Whenever I go surfing, whenever I go fishing, I think of him, 100%. Paul is synonymous with the ocean.
I think that in the sea is, it's just a big mystery, really. And there's things that are more alien in the ocean than I think are probably alien in space. You know, it seems like every other day there's a new discovery, and you look at it and you're like, really? That's from this planet? It's just things that are so bizarre. You know, we're finding creatures that are living at depths that we thought were completely impossible. And I like that. You know, it's like as much as we like to think we know, it's just a reminder of how little we actually do.
What made you switch from marine biology to acting?
It wasn't a conscious decision. I was at a situation where I'd run out of funding basically for school, and was looking for a means to potentially earn some more income. And the idea was to go back. And I was quite lucky early on with the audition for Pleasantville. I was in my early 20s at that time, and I thought I'd make one movie and pay off my loans and go back and finish school. And I wanted to finish school, that was the plan. One job turned into two jobs, which I think turned into a third one. And I was leaving to go do that third one, and that was gonna be the one that was gonna set me up for school. And I was leaving to go do that. I was 25 years old. I was leaving to go do that, and I found out I was gonna be a dad. I was like, wow, so maybe school's gonna wait for a little bit. It just hasn't stopped. So the passion for marine biology is still there. And, you know, that's my first passion, so I still find other ways to fulfill that.
He really liked the cars, and on those movies, he got into it. He could tell you what size turbos the cars had or what they should do different to make them better, and the other actors don't even know how to drive a manual transmission car. He did his homework like nobody else.
Do you love fast driving by yourself?
Yeah, I love cars. My grandfather actually raced factory cars for Ford, so I think the whole speed car thing it's really in my blood. That was a big part of the reason, actually, how it all came together. They asked me, I was actually working with the same studio and the same director that directed the first one. They said, hey, what would you like to do next? I said, man, I'd like to do a movie where I was racing cars. I got a phone call just a few months later from Neil and Universal, and they said, hey, look, this is the idea. It's about modern day drag racing. You play an undercover cop. You get to drive around in fast cars, and you get to make out with a hot chick. And so I was like, all right, cool, I'll do it. And against the advisement of my representatives, I signed on without a script in good faith that it would come together well, and I'm glad I did.
The first character cast was Paul Walker. I thought that Paul had a McQueen-esque ambiance around him, you know, that was beginning to emerge as he was taking that final leap from teen heartthrob to manhood.
You know, he's very comfortable to work with, and he doesn't have an ego, and he's not difficult in any way.
And Vin and I, you know, it took us a while, I think, to feel each other out. We come from two different worlds, just like as our characters do in the film. He comes from the East Coast, I come from the West Coast. So it took us a while to kind of figure out where one another were coming from, but we ended up getting along really well. And I think Vin definitely pushed me, and I like to think that I pushed him too, as far as just kind of bringing it up. I really enjoyed the scenes that I had with him. I'm enjoying it. I have a blast. I love my job. I get to travel. Gosh, I mean, it's just amazing.
Please welcome Vin Diesel and Paul Walker, boys.
You know, I don't ever want it to end.
Ready. Go! To be young, handsome, making all that money, the token Negro and the token white man in Miami, it was hard to get a lot of work done out there.
I was glad to come back. I think mainly just because I knew that, you know, fans wanted to see it.
They're two of the silliest knuckleheads I've ever met in my life.
When you're talking about two characters, they're supposed to have chemistry on screen. If you don't have it in real life,
it's next to impossible. That's my boy right here.
That's my dad.
We bonded and connected immediately, and we could barely get Too Fast, Too Furious done because we were just cracking too many jokes and having too many parties. And as soon as we wrapped, we was at the clubs together and going to set every day like, oh my God, you know, with the early call times, because and then we was young and making way too much money. All them women in Miami, it was just dangerous stuff, man. Jesus Christ. How you gonna put us out here and tell us to focus? Get the hell out of here.
He was the guy that every woman wanted to be with and every man wanted to be like.
And then you had acted before, obviously, before these films, but this is what everybody really got to know you from.
Yeah, mainly the Fast and the Furious. I think the reason why I enjoy it so much is because how much the people get off, the audience appreciates what we do. You know, there's a lot of things I could be doing outside of the industry, even within the industry, but I don't know if the satisfaction would be the same.
Why do you think Fast and Furious is so successful?
I think a big part of the reason why it works is because it's never tried to be anything more than what it is. We have different personalities, and I think each one of those personalities brings something a little different to it. I love Tyrese like a brother. He drives me fucking insane sometimes, you know. And we give each other a hard time, you know. But there's always love between us. Jordana and I love Jordana. Like, I've known her since she was 19 years old. Like I love her. Like, I would die for her in a heartbeat, you know. Everything feels so natural and just fluid, you know. And then Vin coming up and, you know, playing Uncle Dom, it's like, we do that in our real life, you know. I do it with his kids, he does it with my daughter.
What is success to you?
Success is balance in life. That's the most difficult thing to find.
Paul Walker was like born for this role. It was crazy. You know, I feel like we're like actors that was in Paul's movie, because everything that's tied into cars and adrenaline, it was Paul's world.
I think you must become a very good driver because of all these movies. Have you ever think about a career as a race driver?
I've dreamt about that my whole life.
Tell us about that adrenaline rush, and are you finding yourself late at night, nobody else around, taking the streets on?
I've always been like that. I've always had a lead foot. I'm into extreme sports myself. I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie.
He truly loved the Nissan Skyline and those kind of cars more than muscle cars.
What's the fastest you've ever driven?
Just under 200. I did 197. I haven't broken 200 yet.
And you're trying to?
Driving me crazy. Oh yeah, I'll do it. It's the right car. Everything, I have cars that put out plenty of power and everything, but what limits you is aerodynamics.
I was at work that day, and God, I was so glad that I wasn't on a call. I was able to answer the phone.
When the toy drive was finished, I was driving the Carrera GT from where it was parked, trying to put it back into the garage. Roger comes out, joking around with me, saying that you probably don't know how to drive a Carrera GT, right? And it's my car. Let me take it home. And that's when Paul was leaving and said he wants to take a ride with Roger first.
It's an industrial park. There's nothing there on a weekend. There's no cars. It's all closed up. There's nothing there.
Then next thing we know, we hear a lot of noise, a lot of band.
Supposedly, the impact knocked him out, and then the car just became this inferno.
Shocking news from Hollywood this weekend.
Actor Paul Walker was killed in a fiery car crash on Saturday.
2 people dead in this call. One of them is Paul Walker from Fast and Furious.
He's stuck in this car, he's unconscious on impact, and then he just burns alive.
There's my wife, and I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, something really bad happened. And she just looks at me and she goes, it's your brother, Paul? I said, okay, so he got hurt, what's wrong? Is he gonna be okay? And she just shook her head.
I had moments of questioning my own faith and spirituality. If you loved him the way we did, you would say, well, why him and not us?
Paul's friends from the film came. We had Vin Diesel and Tyrese and Michelle. And of course, all the family. I really just wanted to go to sleep and not have to get up again because I just wanted to be with him.
I'm just glad every time I saw him, I told him I loved him. And he said the same thing to me. I was proud of him every day of his life. He was always doing stuff for us. Always. He was a great guy. He was my big brother, and I looked up to him very much.
We received a call at about 3:30 this afternoon regarding a single vehicle traffic collision.
The accident scene tells the story. There it is. Walker was a passenger in a Porsche that collided with a pole and caught fire. The actor had been attending his charity event to benefit typhoon victims in the Philippines.
This is the spot where the crash happened, and take a look at this. Police tell us the impact was so great, a chunk of the car flew all the way from here into that building, breaking that window.
The coroner's office also determined that the cause of death, Mr. Walker, is combined effects of traumatic and thermal injuries, and the manner of death was accident.
He'd been in the middle of filming the 7th movie scheduled to be released next summer.
Police now say that speed was a factor. And this memorial has been growing in size all day. Paul Walker fans showing up, many of them driving here in their high-end sports cars to pay their respects.
It's going to stay with me forever. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for coming down here and showing that angel up in heaven how much you appreciate it.
There was nothing. We tried. We went through fire extinguishers. And
Sorry. Does it surprise you, knowing Roger's skill level, that this is the outcome of that joyride yesterday?
Well, that's the answer that I came up here looking for, is why, how? I mean, he's such a skillful driver, but you see this all the time.
Rest in peace, Paul Walker. Will be missed. This is a guy that I grew up watching his movies.
I just can't believe it. You know, I've been a Fast and Furious fan since 2001.
What made you guys feel like you had to come here tonight?
He gave me the whole ideas of cars, you know. He's the one who inspired me to even start, like, me building my own cars.
Wow.
He got me inspired into everything. Like, he had a big influence in my life.
Hey, I'll be right back in 5 minutes. That was the last words I heard.
Paul had real relationships with everybody. You felt his love, you felt his spirit, you felt his energy, you felt the morale, the camaraderie, the inclusion.
It's funny because sometimes I'll post a picture on Facebook or talk about Pablo, and people will say, you know, just move on. But the relationships in that franchise are so strong and the brotherhood so real that it transcends the experience of making the movie. And you spend 15 years going from being a nobody to somebody with a brother. And then one day he's gone. And it's a very heavy experience. I know you all suffered loss before. I know you know what I mean. It's one of the darker moments in my journey, but yeah.
You take good care of Meadow, Paul's daughter.
She takes good care of me,
Oh.
to be honest with you. You know, she's the first person on Father's Day to wish me a happy Father's Day. To see her with my children is one of the most beautiful things. There are moments when I see her playing with Pauline, and it will hit me so deep.
I love that boy so much. I just can't talk without cracking, you know. Sorry.
He was halfway through shooting the new movie. Universal, the studio behind the film, is just scrambling, trying to figure out what to do. With the Thanksgiving weekend, they were just totally caught off guard.
We decided to go back to work when Universal was so supportive about us continuing the film. It was unanimous. It was across the board that the most important thing would be to honor, you know, my brother Paul and his legacy.
This one matters the most, because we lost a dear and great friend, Mr. Paul Walker, and we're gonna carry on his legacy the way he would have wanted us to. Period. He is the original Fast and Furious.
Furious 7!
It was a big summer. The movie raking in $1.5 billion at the box office after one of the biggest overhauls in movie history.
Yeah, I mean, I think it surpassed even our own expectations, man. 1.5 billion. We just wanted it to make over $1 billion, so now we're setting all these different records, but again, it's because of the fans.
How do you feel that it really honored him?
Oh, man, I don't think there was any better way to honor him. It was graceful, it was classy, it was elegant, it was everything that it needed to be, and I don't think there's one person that's going to disagree with that when they see the ending of this film.
What do you want people to remember about him the most?
He was the real deal. He's a fine man, and he's the kind of man you want to be like. If you want to liken yourself or follow in the footsteps of somebody, it should be Paul William Walker IV, because he was as fine a person as there ever was, and he would have gotten better.
This was a very special movie for us to make. The fact that you all voted for this movie means a lot to us. We make these movies with our hearts. We really are a family. You fans have been so incredible to us and have encouraged us and made us reach higher and want to do better each time. So we thank you. We thank you with our hearts. I can't stand here and be rewarded like this without talking about somebody very, very, very important to us. One of the best blessings in our lives is the fact that we have the opportunity to call Pablo our brother. Paul Walker is here in spirit with us. My only message to you is, you would be amazed what you can do with love. You'd be amazed how powerful a force that is. When we didn't want to come back to filming when the tragedy was too heavy, it was the love of everyone combined that saw us through to the end, and now I'm standing here with all of you telling me this was your favorite film of the year. You know, it's hard to talk about Furious 7. It's hard to celebrate Furious 7. We made a film that made the whole world cry with us. It's impossible to receive an award and not feel emotional. I wish you could be here to see this, but I know he's here in spirit. Thank you for honoring me, and more importantly, thank you for honoring that angel, my brother Paul Walker.
Be smart, drive safe, and stay legal.